I've learned 3 insanely valuable lessons about getting girls using female psychology, starting with the secret to avoiding brutal rejections. Just the other day, I'm walking down the street in Norway, and a guy starts talking to me in a very aggressive way in a foreign language that I don't understand. I'm presuming it was Norwegian, and I don't know if he was trying to sell me something or if he was trying to ask me a question, but he came across very aggressive, and I just said, I don't speak the language. I put my hand up like that and ignored him, and then just kept walking right by him. In a sense, I brutally rejected him, and I didn't even give him the chance a day. I didn't stop to ask what he was saying or anything like that. I just kept walking because he came across as very aggressive, very scary. I'm in a foreign country where I need to look out for my safety. I'm all by myself, and I am not going to take a chance talking to some dude who's coming across in an aggressive manner. And what you got to understand, and how this applies to girls in female psychology, is that girls are very vulnerable. They're much weaker than men, and they understand this. And if you come across as a very aggressive man, they are going to be scared and intimidated if they're talking to someone they don't know. They have to look out for their own safety, and it can be scary to be approached by guys. This is why you need to approach girls in a very polite, respectful way. When you do this, if you match this with being a high-value man, they're going to be very receptive to your approaches. And my recommendation would be, holding eye contact, smiling, and starting off with something like, "Excuse me." Unless you've already got the eye contact, then maybe you can say, "What's your name?" or something. But that "excuse me" puts them on ease. They're like, "Oh, hi," and then you can start talking to them and they see that you're not a threat and that you're just trying to have a conversation. But if you're like this dude who was running up to me like he was saying some shit, shaking his hand in the air, and I'm like, "Whoa, bro, that's way too much." So if you're aggressive in any way, girls are not going to want to talk to you, is the lesson of this story. This next lesson I learned the hard way, but it taught me what I needed to know in order to maximize my future success with girls. I was at the club one time and I met this girl and we were having a great conversation, having drinks together, sitting down, talking, really getting to know each other, and I thought I had it in the bag. And then all of a sudden, this dude who is really popular, good-looking guy, walks around and starts talking to my girl. He ends up taking her home that night, and he got with her, and I didn't. Even though we had a great conversation and things were going really well, she still went home with the guy who she saw as higher status in her eyes. And what you gotta understand is that girls choose the winners. And this is just girls' nature. They have a hypergamous nature, meaning that they're always going to select the best possible mate. So what you have to do is you have to be working on yourself in all areas, like your fitness, your mental health, your money, your status, to be the best possible option. See, the thing is, you can either play the game and accept it, or you can be one of those dudes who complains about how they don't get girls and why girls don't respect them, but they're doing nothing on the back end in order to improve themselves and actually become attractive to girls. This is just the nature of the world that we live in. You need to be a high value man. You need to be building your value in many different ways. It's not just money. It's all the different skills, like I mentioned, that are going to allow you to become attractive to as many girls as possible and give you the best possible chances of success. And boys, if you're tired of being ignored and rejected by women, this is why I built my Attractive Man Guide, teaching you how to build your value as quickly as possible so that you can be the guy that girls find irresistible and want to get with. That's going to be free, and it's the first link in the description below. This last aspect is something that most guys can't even comprehend. When I was breaking up with my ex about 3 years ago, there was a couple times when things were over, but we were still seeing each other a little bit, and I saw her phone. And now that the dudes knew that she was single, they were so aggressively trying to hang out with her and pursue her. And she already had all these guys in her phone anyway, but now every single one of them was trying to get with her, and it was absolutely absurd. See, what you gotta understand is that girls are constantly receiving so much validation all of the time. They always have guys in their phone. They are never going to be truly single because they could get with a guy any day of the week if they just texted them. Every single girl has tons and tons of options in her phone. Even if the guys aren't making it obvious, if she texted them, "Come over tonight," they would be there. That is just how it is. That's the reality of the dating scene. And these guys are usually giving her tons of validation, tons of compliments, being just simps, and giving her what she wants, which is attention and validation. And what you don't want to do is just be another one of those guys who is in her phone, who she sees as lower status, just some guy that she can play around with, get some free validation out of, and then move on and actually get with the one who she sees as a high status dude who she wants to be with. So what you want to do is you want to be giving her attention and validation on the things that are not her beauty and her looks. You can talk to her and give her compliments and be charismatic and charming, but it's not going to be about her physical appearance. It should be about her personality, her character traits, her kindness, her warmth, how thoughtful she is, the intelligent questions that she asks. That is going to be the way to win over a girl in the early stages. Until a girl likes or loves you, you shouldn't really be complimenting her beauty. And once you know that she likes you, of course, you can start throwing some compliments in. Like, I'll give you one example. I met this Finnish girl about a year ago through a mutual friend. It was a quick conversation. And then I saw her again out a couple of weeks later, and we were having a good conversation. About 5 minutes in, she was like, "I'm so surprised that you remember me just after that brief conversation." And I was like, "How could I forget the beautiful Finnish girl in Sweden? Come on now." And then she started blushing and smiling and laughing. And it was like a smooth way to throw it in there. It wasn't just like I went up to her and like, "Oh, you're so beautiful." Like, we were already having a good conversation. She was already enjoying it. And that was something subtle I threw in. That is a little different, right? So she was liking me, and then you can do something like that. But for the most part, you don't just want to be a guy in a girl's phone who's never talked to her in person. That's the absolute worst. Who's just giving her compliments and free validation. You want to be actually pursuing some sort of relationship in some sort, or trying to move things to the next level. And that is how you're going to have the most success, and not be seen as just some simp dude. And once again, boys, if you're tired of being ignored and rejected by girls and want to be the attractive man that they find irresistible and they want to get with, get my attractive man guide down below, where I'm going to show you the exact things that you can do to build your value as a man and become the guy that girls want to get with. It's completely free. It's the first link in the description.